and join us as we go along. A good lineup. Well, as I said, I'm Sue Burke, and you're all very welcome here this evening. We're going to talk about product to presence from niche idea to online business. So what does that mean? What is a niche? What is a niche idea? Well, what I'm going to look at really and really get you excited, I hope, and sort of motivated by, is the idea that anybody can run a business if they have a laptop and an internet connection. It's possible to reach out globally, all across the world, and to sell a product, whether it's a physical product or a digital, meaning an online product only, anywhere in the world. And my whole interest in this area began back in sort of 2009 when my eldest son went to Thailand. And I was absolutely fascinated that I could talk to him every day on Google Chat, Gmail Chat, or on Facebook Chat. And I actually knew more about him out there than I did when he lived literally up the road from me here, but which sometimes wasn't always something I needed to know, I can tell you. But it was amazing to me that you could actually have that incredible connection 24 hours a day instantly because of the internet. And my knowledge of the internet and anything techie at that stage was really non-existent. I had been a physiotherapist in my first sort of career when I left college, and then I went on to set up a business in 2005 called Burke Property Management, which I actually run with that eldest lad who went to Thailand and has since come back. But when we set that up, I learned how to do I learned how to do bookkeeping software. Not very well, but I certainly learned how to manage it quite well. So my technical skills were non-existent when it came to anything else. And I think it's important to say that because for a lot of people, they get completely overwhelmed with technology and they just think, I can't cope with it and I don't know anything about it and I'm just not going to be able to do it. And I was like that too. But anything is possible if you put your mind to it and if you learn it. And in fact, like millions of people worldwide make their living full time from home thanks to the internet. And a laptop will give you the freedom to live and work anywhere you want in the world. Now, again, a lot of people think, entrepreneurs are people who set up businesses and just succeed and move on and move on. But I was reading in the paper at the weekend that the age of entrepreneurs is actually rising, not falling. And again, this is another area that I'm quite interested to stress, even though most women don't boast about their age or want anybody to know their age. But I am mid-50s, and I want to encourage anybody who is anyway younger or anyway older than me that age is not a limitation, and it should not limit you because people have this notion that because it's techie, it's for young people, and because you have to have technology at your fingertips, it's for young people, and they tend to write themselves off because they think, oh, I can't get into that because I just couldn't cope with the tech end. So again, that's something I like to stress, to say that it's quite possible. Take your time, learn it bit by bit, and that you get used to it and overcome it in that way as you go along. As I said, the age of entrepreneurs is rising. It's gone from like 25 to 34 to actually the most common age is now 38 to 50. So anybody who's in that category will be able to recreate themselves and certainly learn how to get online from scratch. So again, as I said, it's quite possible and it's quite feasible. I just wanted to show you, most people usually show photographs of their children when they're doing these webinars and what their children look like. And when I went to actually find my photograph of my children, I found this one, which was taken of my entire tribe. This is my entire live family at the moment. My mother in the front there was 90 at Christmas, and we had a soup party for her in my house, and we were all together. So when I said I'd find the photograph, I thought, oh, sure, I may as well put up the whole lot so you know everything about me, kith and kin, and who they all are. So a lot of my family are self-employed, which I think is probably, I think it is an interesting fact that self-employed people do tend to breed self-employed people, and it's because of the way you're reared, it's the way you're sort of wired, I think. So certainly most of my siblings are self-employed, and I'm certainly self-employed since I was 23 and getting there. I might have been better off if I stayed with the HSE. I'd be getting lovely retirement packages at this stage, but unfortunately not for me. So what did I do and how did I get here? Well, when I started out in 2009, I became very excited about the idea of product creation, and it still is my passion to show people and to illustrate to people how you can do product creation very simply with your knowledge. And people don't get what you talk about when you talk about information marketing. They don't really understand that they have information that may be of use to somebody else. And an interesting thing that happened to me, and I know some of the people on the call here will have heard this story before, but at the risk of boring you, I'll tell you again. My husband and I, we went to our first product creation workshop in England, in Birmingham in 2010, in March. And when we went along, I was looking forward to a weekend away. I had sort of thought, great, a nice weekend away, a nice meal, bottle of wine, and leave the kids at home and we'll have a nice time. And Michael was really going to this conference. I wasn't, just sort of tagging along for the trip. But the conference was actually in a conference centre in the middle of nowhere outside Birmingham. And when I looked out the window in the morning, there were bunny rabbits on the lawn and not a sign of a shop. So I knew I was definitely going to be stuck in this conference centre for the day. And with that, a couple came in for breakfast. And they were an unusual looking couple. He was a British guy, English guy, and his wife was Chinese and she was 6'1", which was definitely different and noticeable. And they joined our table for breakfast. The lady's name was Athena, and as Athena sat at breakfast, her mobile phone, it was an iPhone, which I hadn't even seen, I think, in 2010, and it blipped. Every couple of minutes it went beep, ping, 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 and I was fascinated. And she never looked at it. And eventually I said to her, Athena, do you mind me asking, why does your phone keep pinging and you don't look at it? And she said, oh, Susan, she said, every time it pings, it means somebody has lodged money in my PayPal account. That's PayPal sending me an email. And not since I believed in Santa Claus did I want something as much in my entire life as that phone. I actually thought it was incredible. It was 8 in the morning. She was making money while she was having her breakfast. And I thought, I want one of those phones. And I set out there and then. I mean, it really became a passion of mine to actually have one of those phones and to have it go ping. And I made that choice there and then that I was going to just follow that goal and I was going to do it. And I did. And I started in 2010. That was March in 2010. And then I went on, came home from that and decided to do some work on the whole plan and program and get involved in internet marketing. And I subsequently started my first product, which to this day sells extremely well. And it always makes people smile, make people laugh. The book cover's gone through a few transitions since then. And it was an ebook on head lice. Now, you might think, what possessed her to start an ebook on head lice? But what happened was, my knowledge from my physiotherapy days, I would have been very interested in medicine, obviously, and very interested in alternative medicine. And I would have a great knowledge of homeopathy and essential oils and those type of things. So there we go. So I had knowledge of as I said, essential oils. And when we went on to do the research, the guy I was working with in England, when I went on to do the research for homeopathy and what people were Googling, which I'm going to show you later in this webinar how to do that. The words like head lice came up and how to get rid of them. And if there's any mothers listening to me, they will know that they are a major issue in most households when you have children between the age of 4 and 12. So I had a major problem in my own home. We couldn't get rid of head lice for 4 months. And eventually, after researching it extensively and exhaustively, I came up with this little ebook. So I had the ebook all ready and good to go. It took me from March until August to get all of the procedures organized, to get the website up and running, the sales page, to implement the emails and all of the things you have to do to get the back end done, which when you don't know what you're doing can be a bit exhausting and a bit challenging. So I got that up and running and I launched that book first in August, and it sells to this day. And I'll come back and talk about it later because it's been a very nice steady earner for me, and I'm going to come back to it and mention something else about it later on. So that was the first one. So when I got that one up and running, I decided I'd do another one, a bit like Jimmy Cricket, there's another one. So the second one I did was a healthy eating family recipe cookery book. Now this one I approached a bit differently because I'd learned quite a lot along the way. And I wrote a blog for 8 months first. And just before Christmas, at the end of that 8-month period, I had collated like monthly, daily recipes for 8 months, and I put them all into a format, into an ebook, and assembled the ebook. And I decided I was going to sell it for Christmas. And I uploaded it probably around about the 12th or the 14th of December 2010. And I launched it. On the first day I launched it, I sold 17. Now, I have to admit, that was amazing again. It was just fantastic. But I haven't sold a huge amount since because I don't promote it. And it is one of the things with information products. You do have to work at it. It's not easy. And you have to keep promoting them. So I didn't actually promote that one very much since, but I still made money on it and it's still there. But as I said, I have it out in all sorts of marketing, digital marketing software, and it clicks away, but I don't do promote it very much. It's not, I knew I didn't want to be cooking and making recipes every day. It wasn't what I wanted to do with my plan for the future, but I still did it. So then at that stage, I've got kind of competent at setting up businesses and setting up ebooks, and I wrote this little one, the PLM Mindset. Again, I don't sell it an awful lot, but it does sell, and it's out there. And mostly I might give it away free as an opt-in, and indeed some of you might have actually already received it. If you opted in to some of my lists, you would have been given this book along the way. So then after that, I became kind of cheeky, and I decided I'd get going on something really big. So this year I wrote a pretty serious ebook. This one is extensive. It has over I think it has about 80 pages in it, and I don't know how many thousand words, I can't remember, but it took me quite a while to put together, and I am actually pleased with it. It's a kitchen table entrepreneur. It's about how to set up a business from your kitchen table and work from your laptop with an internet connection. And when I launched this one, I would have since been very involved in global networks, if you like. You know, some of the courses I've done, these guys have big mastermind programs online, and I would be involved in a lot of those type of things now. So I would have networks that reach right across the globe. So when I launched this kitchen table book, I had backing from 3 or 4 people that I've got to know very well over the years, and they said they would launch to their list for me. Now, what that's called is a joint venture, and it's something we get involved in when you've moved along in this business. So I did a joint venture with 4 people for this, which meant that when the book went on sale, it went out like to thousands of people across the globe. And the first sale was in New Zealand within about 5 minutes of it being launched. The second sale was in New York, and the third sale was in Missouri. And that's how it works. So that book sells all over the world. It's also in ClickBank, which is a digital marketplace, and another one called JB Soup. But all of that is how you get out there and how you make these connections and how you have this global business when you set it up. But it doesn't all happen overnight. There's no doubt about it. It takes a little bit of time. So I'm hoping to get you excited about how you can start this evening. And then this would be a big product. This is a physical product. So all of the books are ebooks. They're digital products on the internet. And this then is a physical product. It's how to get online from scratch. So it's 5.5 hours of online training, how to actually do what I do, all the technology from beginning to end, stop, start, and how you can actually do it. But again, I'll talk about that later on also. So that's basically what I do. I sell 5 products online. I can run the entire business myself from anywhere in the world with a laptop. And that's what I'm trying to empower you guys to get excited about today and to learn about and how it actually works. So the question of expertise is always something that comes up. What is expertise? And who has expertise? Well, as I said, when I did the head lice one, I knew how to get rid of head lice. Lots of women don't. So I was an expert in how to get rid of head lice. So I could actually give value to somebody else by telling them how to do it. If you have children or if you've had nieces or nephews and you've tied their shoes and they're aged 3, you are a genius. You are an expert in how to tie shoes. You may not make your money at it or a fortune at it, but you definitely know something they don't know. And that's what this is about. This is about giving value to people with your information that you know that they don't know. And that's why there's Google, because people Google every day for something they want to know the answer to. And if you can find your niche, and if you can find that you can give that answer to people, then you're in business. And that's how this works. So all you have to know is know how to do it better than them. That's basically it. You know something, they don't know it, and you have to know how to get it out there into the space where they're going to find it, and then you know something better than them, they'll buy it off you. And that's what, again, as I said, is what this is all about. So that means that basically you don't need a degree to be able to do what I do. There's no degree. In fact, I actually know people who've done digital marketing postgrad degrees and they can't do this. They don't know what it's all about. They're into different systems altogether. So you don't need a degree to get online, learn how to do it, and to make a product that sells. You don't need any certification whatsoever. You just need yourself and a laptop and an internet connection. You don't need any job experience. I didn't know how to do this 5 years ago, and now I have a business that works online. And interestingly enough, I don't know whether any of you listen to Ryan Tubridy, but on the radio last Friday morning, it might have been, he actually was on air saying, people, could you please ring in and tell me what you're doing today that you didn't have any idea how to do 4 or 5 years ago? And we would frequently say in our house to our teenage children, with 3 teenagers, and we would frequently say to them that the job they are going to end up doing hasn't even been created yet. So you don't need job experience. You need a little bit of motivation, an ability to do a little bit of hard work, and then you'll be able to do this. And you also don't need any recognized status, because what you're going to be doing, there isn't a postgrad degree in. And what you're going to be doing, you can't actually train for except sit down and learn it as such. So don't feel that you can't do this because you know nothing about computers, or you can't do this because you haven't got information that somebody else wants. You have, and you can, and you will, basically. Okay, so there's three kinds of expertise. There is, yes, I have done this and I have the proof to show you. So what does that mean? Well, that's me. I have done it. I've set up my business from scratch. I have money. I make money online every day, make money while I sleep, and I can show you the proof to show you that I do that. And that's what it's about. So yes, I'm plausible. I can do it, and I can show you how to do it. Then I've studied it, and I'm reporting to you on it. Now this one is interesting because this is what teachers do. They study their subject and then they report to you on it. This is what journalists do. They take the information and they report to you on it. It's also what people like. I mean, people who study how to detonate a nuclear bomb, can tell you how to do it, but they've never actually done it. People, who say can write about the moon and they can tell you all about the moon in astrology, but they've never been there. So you don't always have to have done it in order to be able to report on it. And that's a very valid thing when it comes to information marketing. And I'll flesh that one out a bit further for you also. It's just to plant the idea in your brain that you might have studied it and report on it, but you've never actually done it. And that's important. And then there's also interviewing others who have done it and letting them teach you or letting you illustrate it to others. And that's an interesting one and one that comes up quite a bit because say you worked in the HSE or say you were in health and safety, which was a career that was very big in the Celtic Tiger here in Ireland. So say you were working in that and you knew lots of people who were consultants and experts in that area. But now that has slightly changed and the actual physical work isn't there, but they're still experts in it and their expertise is still required by a lot of small to medium businesses. So what you could do to create a product, you have the knowledge, you know those people. So you could interview 10 of them and you could put together a product that shows how to do health and safety in various different industries and you'd have it all together in one book, which would be of use to people in small to medium businesses. So I'm trying to give you ideas where you think, get that light bulb moment where you think, well, I could actually do that. It doesn't have to be all about me, or I don't have to write all the book, but I could interview people and put the book together, and then I would be able to get that out there into the marketplace, which would be of interest to people in that area. So try and think about things like that and let your mind be open to ideas and to different sort of concepts. But the most important thing about information marketing for all of you listening is it's a commitment to providing valuable information that would help others to improve their lives. The bottom line is it has to have value. There's a lot of get rich schemes out there where people bash out something or anything at all, trying to market it and get into the space, and it's actually of no value at all. But if you have accurate, valuable information, you will build your tribe, you will build your business, and people will come back to you again and again because repeat business is what you want and they will believe in you and you will be plausible. Now, is everybody able to hear me okay? Are you fed up listening to me yet? You just give me a show of hands if you're okay and you can actually hear me. Okay, great. No problem. Super. Okay, that's great. We'll keep going. So now, picking your niche. This is always an area where, if lots of people have their niche, they know what they're doing. They say, great, I'm going to write a book in this, this, and this, and this is what I do. And in fact, it's much easier if you know your niche. Like if I had actually gone back, I've often thought of this in the last few years. When I started, I knew absolutely nothing about internet marketing. And then I got going and I got started. But in fact, if I had actually stuck to physiotherapy and I decided to make that my niche, I would have found it much easier to get off the starting blocks because I had connections and I had a network of physiotherapists in Ireland and I would have had clients and patients and I would have been able to market them in various different ages. So, or if I picked to do internet marketing in the property management space, I probably would have been able to build up a bit quicker. So I probably did it the hard way myself, which makes it easier for me to explain how to do it and to teach you guys. Whereas if you actually have a niche, and I know by looking at the names of people who are on the course, you certainly do have niches, it's easier because you have the content, you're able to create the value, you have the knowledge, you have the expertise, and you're able to put it out there to your market. So there's four big markets that you need to look at when you're looking at starting a niche perhaps from scratch. Now, those of you who are already up and running will have products in this space and will be in some of these niches. The first one will be getting paid, the financial and business market. That's huge. So there's just so many areas in the financial market that you can pick a niche and you can get going on. I mean, there's the obvious big ones at the top end in trading and stock trading or in Forex niche marketing, which is really big. The Forex trade is big at the moment. But you could come right down to a much easier financial situation, and you could talk about the domestic market, and you could talk about how to run your home on €200 a week, or you could talk about other kind of more basic financial packages. Lots of people now, again, in the sort of insurance and financial businesses are definitely getting online. You see a huge push by financial companies to get online and to be user friendly and create products that people want to read or download, etc. Then you have getting laid, which is a great one. I always think it catches your eye. There's no doubt about it. And it's relationship advice and counselling. Now, relationship advice is enormous also. I mean, there's like the dating area. There's like divorce. Can you get an easy divorce? If you can, you'll definitely do well in picking your niche. You can get an easy divorce or a friendly one. Counselling of all sorts. I mean, counselling for teenagers with eating disorders, counselling for separated couples, counselling for bereavement. All of those kind of areas are areas where people have vast knowledge and could contribute vast value if they just thought about doing something in that area. People have years of experience and have never tried to do anything with it online, especially counsellors or anybody who's a coach in that area. They wait for one person to walk in the door every half an hour, but they would be far better off if they considered packaging that up into perhaps an ebook initially, or they could do tapes or DVDs or CDs or even online Skype counselling. They just don't think about it. It isn't something they've contemplated doing. And like when I say that my first book, the first recent book I sold in New Zealand first, you can counsel somebody from here. It could be in Timbuktu. It doesn't matter. You can counsel on Skype. You can counsel on lots of software programs that are out there. So you shouldn't be limited by geography boundaries. You should think about your business being global, and then you'll be able to market it wherever it is. Then there's not dying, health matters and weight loss. Well, the health industry is also enormous on the internet. I mean, you can do health matters in any area, health and exercise, people who do triathlons, people who do any sort of exercise, any sort of climb Mount Everest, anything at all. It doesn't matter. You can do the program. You can do the exercise program. You can do the dietary requirements. You can do anything. And then weight loss. Well, weight loss is huge. I mean, just look on anything on Facebook or Twitter or whatever and put in weight loss and just see the response that comes up. And we'll be looking again later on in this webinar. I'm going to show you how to do Google research, and you'll see how these things and how you interpret it and how you read it and what it means. Then we have expensive hobbies. Hobbies, of course, are always worth doing a niche in. And the obvious hobbies are the ones that are listed up here, the golf, the skydiving, whatever. But then you have other hobbies. And these are ones I was looking earlier on just to have a look, and we'll do them on the Google Research too and on Google Trends later. Things like beekeeping or crafts are absolutely huge. And you can pick an area. And the more you micro niche into that area, the better. Now, by that I mean, say for instance, tennis. If you are a tennis person and you play a lot and you're very good at doubles, well, you could be a micro niche into doubles tennis on grass. So now you've gone narrower into that area, but it means you can target the market better and you can actually zone in on the market that's looking for doubles tennis on grass. And you have a better chance of A, reaching your target, B, being found on Google because you've niched into something that somebody is searching for, and therefore they'll find you. And if you can create value and a worthwhile product in that area, you'll do really well. So this is what we talk about. This is what I'm hoping to get you motivated and excited with, this type of in the box thinking as opposed to outside the box. I often see when I say the expression, when somebody says you want to be outside the box, I always think, no, you shouldn't be in the box in the first place. So I'd like to think that none of you are in the box and that you're all going to be thinking off the Richter scale and get these ideas out there and into the place. So that's a little bit on picking your market. So now, the sweet spot of all of this is when you do get your niche up and running, then you start thinking about your customer. And customer service is something that is just 100% paramount. So when you say picks, I'm just going to stick with the tennis one for the moment. So say, for instance, your customer plays tennis. Well, then everything that you are writing about or focusing on should give that customer who plays tennis value. And if that is your mantra, then the unique brand and the expertise and value that bring to it, when the two of those meet, the sweet spot in the middle is where you make the money. So this is what, again, why you have to think all the time about what you're writing or what you're actually going to put together, how you're going to put that program together, how you're going to put that product together. What does the person want? You're only listening to me tonight because you want to see what I can do for you. And that's true, and that's really nice, and I'm very flattered that you've turned up to do that. But if I sat here and told you all about me, you'd have clicked off hours ago, because you're not really interested in me. You're only interested in what I can actually do for you. And that's fantastic, because that's what I want to do. So you have to think like that when you're looking at your product and when you're looking at your customer. So again, it does. I'm just going to go on about the niche a little bit longer, just to get you into the mental frame of mind to think about it. Your niche may not necessarily be money making in itself, so it may not be like the financial market. It could be, as I mentioned, relationships. So when you look at this sort of niche area again, say problem teenagers, or maybe just the awkward teenage years, you could be a counselor in that area, and you could, show teenagers how to have self-esteem. So there wouldn't be, you're not doing this to think about making money. It's not a making money niche, but it's a creating value niche, and it's helping young people to get through those years of their lives where they're growing and they're challenged. And if you create value in that area, it could move on to be an ebook that might be profitable or financially beneficial. But you may not always start off thinking, I need to make money. Not everybody's motivated by money. I am, but not everybody is, and I appreciate that. So, dealing with somebody else's disease. Now, this is an interesting one, and one I think can be of great value to people. Some families have children with challenging disabilities, or maybe just health issues, and they may have spent a long time in sort of pediatric wards over the years with their children. Well, what great value they could create to another family who has spent 3, 4, 5 weeks in children's hospitals in Dublin or London or wherever, and they could create value by being able to help somebody else cope with that. You may be somebody who's living with somebody with diabetes. Well, then you could be of great benefit to somebody, because you know how to help somebody who's living with diabetes. So it isn't literally always about the actual core disease or the core product. It's about helping and easing other people's along the way and creating value for them. Child raising. Well, you could certainly write a book on child raising if you could figure out where to start and finish. I've had four, and I wouldn't like to try and write the book on child raising, but certainly not very many people have done it, and it's quite possible that you could do it and be very good. Hobbies, of course, are huge. And the more kind of obscure the hobby, really, quite possibly the better market you could gain. There is a market for everything. It's just how you product place and find it. So if you have a hobby, the kind of hobbies I'm thinking of are people who collect Star Trek figurines. Well, like, that's not mainstream, but it's huge. And if you go in on the internet and look, and you have a collection or you have a lot of knowledge in that area, you can be up there and be a big player in that market in no time at all. So coin collecting. In fact, coin collecting in Ireland, if you search, and I had reason to do so in the last year, very difficult to find people with knowledge on coin collecting. Very difficult to find anything on the internet in Ireland in particular. You certainly could in America, but it wasn't a huge lot to me because I wanted to sell coins. So it's not that. So those kind of hobbies can be amazing if you get motivated correctly and get the target market correctly on the internet. Clothing. Now, I put this one in because not a lot of people think about doing something in clothing, but I came across this and I thought it was interesting, so I said to put it in. Take, for instance, men. And now, for the ladies of you on, it's probably about 50-50 if I have a quick scan down this. No, it's not actually. I think it's probably more men than women. So you'll probably all disconnect when I say this. But men are not fantastic at putting their clothes together. Oh, well, I get away with it. And they're not always amazing at putting sort of weekend clothes in a bag together. They often have their odd, not just an odd sock, but an odd shirt or an odd something that doesn't quite work. So clothing packages can be quite interesting for men, and you could make, there are lots and lots of women's style conscious internet products, websites that do things for women, but there aren't for men. So, you could set up a clothing online business whereby you could recommend to men grooming, how they could put their clothes together, the capsule wardrobe for men, and you could make that a niche that you could become quite competent in, especially if you had a clothes shop or if you have family with clothes shops. You could make that a niche online business linked to your physical business that is a lucrative market and not tapped into at all. So these are the kind of ways you have to think. And I think never more so than at the moment, if you look at physical jobs, physical businesses, if you're not going to go online, you really won't survive. And there's a lot of businesses that could have global business but be based locally I'm in the west of Ireland, some of you aren't, I know, but in a small rural town in England, that business could still be global if they only thought about tapping into it. And again, I think the Irish market, the diaspora, you can definitely tap into that with your connections, with your networks. And a lot of these, the London Chamber of Commerce has a London Irish Chamber of Commerce. The New York Chamber of Commerce has a New York Irish Chamber of Commerce. So you can tap into those networks online. It could be in LinkedIn, it could be on Facebook. And if you have something that would just trigger in that network, you'd get the feedback and you'd get the product placement, and you can fly online. And that's, again, something you have to think about. So I'll put that one in just to trigger your mental stimulation for you. So I have a few more just to go before we actually go and look. So topics: breaking addictions. Well, of course, breaking any addiction is huge, and you can do it online. You can do counseling online, again, I mentioned, or you can just, even, breaking chocolate addictions, give people the 10 tips they need to break an addiction or whatever. Gardening, of course, gardening is huge this time of the year. In particular, April, get out there. If you've got any, you might have garden centres, you may have, shops that sell packets of seed. Well, you could do a promotion online and you could get it out there and sell. Travel, well, travel is always big, but I mean, if you were thinking about an ebook in relation to travel, you could do, Ireland on $10 a day, €10 a day. Would you get away with it? Probably not. Might want to up it to 20 or to 30. But you know what I'm saying? And I mean, always there's new markets out there. And when it comes to travel, you could do the 10 best mountains in Ireland to climb. You could do the 10 best water sports in Ireland, kayaking or canoeing. You could do something. And there's markets out there for it. You just need to think about putting it together, tap into the market, promote your product, and away you go. So health and exercise, weight loss, I touched that one already. Sports. Well, of course, sports are huge. I have been lucky enough to travel quite a bit since I started this business, and I was out last year in Arizona at a conference, and I met a young lad only in his early 30s who had started in secondary school or in high school in the States, and he was very interested in tennis, and he was a very good tennis player himself in his own local tennis club, and he was always trick acting online with a friend of his, and they now today have a business that turns over $38 million a year, and you can look it up when you're finished talking to me, and it's called Fuzzy Yellow Balls after tennis. www.fuzzyyellowballs. And what he does online membership site whereby he gets paid a monthly fee from his members to put up videos of and tutorials of how to play tennis, how to, hit the proper ball, how to do whatever. I haven't looked at too many of them. I have seen some of them, not too many. And he does extremely well. Obviously, I met him last year. But what's interesting is that he is the first to do the tennis one, an online mentoring one, but that could be copied for anything. You could do a Gaelic one if you're in Ireland. You could do, and there'd be nobody else doing it. It certainly, and yet it would have a global interest because they play Gaelic all over the world. Even in Singapore, there was a Gaelic conference last year. My nephew was playing in it. So these are things that you may not have had the light bulb moment about, but you may have a huge amount of information about, and you could actually put it together and do something in that line. And that yellow fuzzy balls lad, or the fuzzy yellow balls, Will, he actually last year, just when we were out there in October, he had just signed up the the double players of the American team who had won the doubles in Wimbledon had signed to be the coaches on his professional site. So, there's no end to what you can achieve, and there's no end to how far you can go once you get started. But getting started is often the hard part for some people. Just a few more, and then we move on. Personal finances. Well, of course, personal finances are always difficult, never more challenging than they are at the moment for most people. And you could certainly do something online. You could do, a money management online program. And one of the things for my Irish listeners tonight in particular is that it's wide open. People are not really incredibly active in the online space in Ireland, in spite of us being a very techie country and doing extremely well getting large companies like Google and HubSpot to Dublin. We're not actually shopping online as much as other countries are. So personal finances, people will buy off people they know, and they'll buy off. There's not much point in me signing up for a personal finance program from America because it's all in dollars and it may not be relevant to me, and the grocery list won't be the same and the cost of insurance wouldn't be the same. But if somebody did an Irish one, it may be absolutely fantastic, and that market would be enough for somebody in the Irish space. So you could look at doing that, doing an online management program. And I know there's lots of standard software out there, but there's nothing better than the personal touch, and people buy people. So if that's your area, you could look at doing that. Legal. Well, legal area is always worth tapping into. I mean, as I said, how to get the pretty divorce or how to do your online insurance claim. And we here in the office, my husband is solicitor legal, and we do that area here. And we're certainly looking at growing that section for ourselves. Again, wide open, not that very many people doing it. Flying. Now, I put this in because I've had some experience with people who fly and people who don't fly. But people, you say flying, a lot of people have no idea how to pack the capsule bag again to come back to sort of packing for flying. Or people have no idea how to cope if they're suffer from claustrophobia. You can do flying. There's so many things you can do in an area apart from sitting in the cockpit and flying. So again, there was a guy I met somewhere along the line in my travels over the years too, a young man who had he created a flying game, a bit like an Xbox thing or a PlayStation thing. As you can see, my knowledge isn't huge of those games. But he had created a flying game, which he had literally created from his own experience. He was absolutely mad about flying, but he'd never been in a plane in his life. And he had created this program. So, you don't, as I said, you don't always have to have done it to be an expert on it. Being popular. Well, of course, that one would be nice for children, again, teenagers who have issues with their self-esteem. And likewise, very often, men or women in their 40s who may never have had long-term relationships often suffer from low self-esteem. So it's back to the sort of counselling area again. Cooking. Of course, the cooking is always huge. And if you have a particular interest in cooking or a particular flair for cooking, then certainly it is a topic that is definitely worth looking at. And again, it may be something that you don't consider you could do anything about. I mean, I cook and I made the healthy eating cookery book for a family of 4, what to buy on a Saturday, what to cook for the week, and I sold quite a few of them. But I knew it wasn't something I wanted to continue doing because I would have had to do videos and take it further, and I wasn't particularly interested in that. But some of you may be interested, and I just put it in there for that reason. So there's an idea of areas. I've thrown out quite a lot of information there, something to trigger you. But what I'm trying to get you to really light bulb tonight is that there are thousands of areas that you could become a niche expert in, that you could create a product in, and that you could actually sell online if you just challenge yourself out of what the information you've already got. Oh, sculpting bushes, I forgot about that one. A little bit of topiary down at the bottom is definitely unusual and not hugely, it's a very small niche. Very small people do it, but it's a big niche if you research it. So that's what we were going to talk about. So in short, just to round up that section before I rattle on, if people need to know it, then it is possible to sell them something on how to do it. If people need to know it, it is possible to sell them something on how to do it. And I said something because the product may be a digital product, meaning it may be something online, or it could be a physical product. The product to me at this stage for you is not relevant. I want to get you impassioned about actually doing it as opposed to the actual product. So let's have a show of hands. I think I was going to do a poll at this stage. Yes, are you currently selling an infant? Now I'm going to have a go with this. I haven't actually done this before, so I'm going to see if I can do an online poll. We do something exciting, see if I can do it. Now, you'll see a poll on your screen. So you can actually click, are you actually selling an information product on the internet of your own at the moment? So click yes or no, and then we'll let you know. Can you see the poll also? It's fantastic. I love doing things like this, very exciting. 78% have said no, and 22% have said yes. So most of you, 22% is not bad. I'm actually very pleased with that. And the attendees are now viewing the poll. So that's fantastic. Okay, so that's good. So 22% of you said yes, you are, and 78% said no. So hopefully you've got some idea of how exciting it could be now. And then no. So then I'm actually going to do another poll very quickly. Do you already know? So let's just launch the second one. Okay, do you already know what product you would like to create? So just give me some idea there. I think I left one out on the poll. You absolutely pretty much need guidance or you are clueless, which is exactly where I was the day I started. So don't feel a bit worried about clicking the clueless. I'll have to launch the poll. That'd be helpful, wouldn't it? Okay, there we go. You can now see. So click and let me know where you're at. If you know what you want to produce and you want me to help you to do it, or if you have no idea, or if you are clueless. Fantastic. This is very exciting. 11% said absolutely know exactly what you want to do, which is great. Pretty much 22% is fantastic, need guidance, and I am clueless. So, I mean, that's just great. I get some idea of what the market is like and where you're coming from. So some of you have an idea, which is great. So I'm going to show you now how to, thank you for taking that. That's really good. I hope I saved that now so I'll be able to do something with it later. Yes, hopefully I'm okay. So there we go. Caution. Oh yes, I knew I was going to say something just before we rattle on. Some topics are deadly. Now I just wanted to give you an idea. This is an interesting one. make sure the customer has money and is willing to pay money to get the information. Unfortunately, we're back to money again, which, as I said, is what makes me get out of bed in the morning. Self-employed since I was 23. If I don't get out of bed, nobody's going to pay me to stay in it, that's for sure. So some topics are deadly. For instance, and the reason I picked this is because there's no point in you thinking it's the most amazing product on the planet if nobody else wants it. You're not going to make any money. And I mean, we're all guilty of coming up with amazing ideas. And if you watch Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, the American version, people have amazing ideas and they just don't understand why nobody else thinks they're as incredible as they are. And one area that sort of jumps to mind here, and also in America, in fact, is sort of social welfare. Like if you went in today onto Google Research and you Googled, how do I get social welfare payments? You would be actually like knocked off your perch by the amount of people who would Google that type of thing. But unfortunately, and this is a sad reality of life, they're not going to have any money to pay you for a product about how they're going to get their social welfare. So that's a really kind of obvious one. But like the market that's looking for that information is huge. So, pick a topic that you think is likely to have enough information and is able to make money. And I'm going to, as I said, go into Google Research very soon now and show you. Okay, so we're just nearly finished this section. Okay, so the formula basically is that you have to have a passion for the information that you want to put out there, and that linked with market research will give you new product sales potential, and then you are in business. So I want to trigger that passion. I want you to get this light bulb moment, and I want to show you how to do some market research. Now, I won't be able to go right into the product potential all in one night because it's going to be too much. But I want you to get the foundation tonight and to really get, motivated to think, I'm really going to do this. This is something I can do. You probably all have full-time jobs, but you need to get those you need an extra income, or you need to generate some sort of further passive income. We all love to make passive income, and there's nothing more exciting than getting up in the morning and having 10 emails saying, yes, I lodged money to your PayPal account, and I've done that, and it is incredibly exciting. So if I could get those of you out there to do this too, I would be delighted. So your passion. It doesn't necessarily mean you're passionate about that particular topic. It just means you can be passionate about the activity. And I put this in too for a bit of fun. And I said I'd go back to the head lice one. I'm not passionate about head lice. And I don't want to get known as the head lice queen, but I am passionate about teaching people how to get rid of them, because that's a value to them. And recently somebody I know quite well put up on Facebook, what am I going to do? My daughter's come home with head lice. And I sent her all my information over. And like 2 days later, she said, Susan, that's just fantastic. So like I'm not passionate about head lice, but I am passionate about giving out the information to get rid of it. And you can think about that too. And another one that often comes to mind, salespeople who have to sell cosmetic products, or who, a lot of men are involved in the cosmetics industry and they're not passionate about makeup and lipstick, but they are passionate about their sales and their targets. So you may not be passionate about the product, but you may be very passionate about getting that product placement and getting the sales on that product. So bear that in mind too. Now we're going to find your niche selection. I'm going to go into Google Research Tool and Google Trends. So just bear with me now for a minute till I move the screen about and figure out how I'm going to do this. Yes, okay, Google AdWords. Sometimes I just crack myself up. Okay, now at this stage, I can belt away here and show you everything I like. First of all, sorry, we are actually, have a look up here on this line. You can hopefully still see my screen quite well, can you? Show of hands, just a quick show of hands. Can you see the screen okay? When I came out of the slides, it all transferred over okay? Yeah, it did, great, okay, brilliant. All right, so some of you may not be familiar with Google AdWords or Google Research Tool. So this is look at this bar up here. Google AdWords, adwords.google.com, and keyword, or Google Research Tool is the term that you put in to find this. And it takes a couple of minutes to load. And what this does is it shows you what people, we're going to put in a couple of phrases, we're going to put in a couple of terms, and then I'm going to tell you, interpret what it means. And this is the foundation of how you see if there is a niche for the product that you're going to sell online. I'm just having a look at a few of the names here to figure out, I know what a few of you do, so I just thought I might pick some that are of interest. So supposing we do some, like, we'll do personal finance first. So you put in the term that you're going to research, just out of interest, we'll do personal finance. Now I'm searching this worldwide. If you really wanted to, you could probably just search Ireland. I'm just going to leave it worldwide because I know that there's people on the call who aren't in Ireland at the moment. So unfair to the audience I've got tonight, I'm not going to drum this down to Ireland. But if you initially want to create a product that's essentially to the Irish market, then you would click on this and you would change it to whichever country is more relevant. So I'm just going to leave it at all countries for the moment, okay? But you can just fiddle, when you get familiar with this, you can fiddle around with it and make it more specific to your area. I just have to put in one of these because I didn't log in because then all mine would come up. I hope I can get this right. They're an awful nuisance, these things. Now, let's see if that's right. No, you're all going to shout at me. I'm stupid. Hopefully I got it right. Did I? Yes. Okay, so we're searching the term personal finance, and I just put in, it's all over the world location. So this means that the word personal finance is searched for 368,000 times globally and 368,000 times locally in Ireland. Those figures are usually different, so that's interesting. Did I make it? It is all, isn't it? It is everywhere. Yeah, okay, not to worry. Anyway, so that's what that means. So there's 368,000 searches worldwide. Well, if you got 368 of them to buy an ebook off you, I'm sure you'd be quite happy because that would be very happy for me. So this is what you look at. You look at the terms first. Now, these are related keywords. So these are other keywords that people search when they're in relation to personal finance. Now, you can click on any of these. So that's just software. Well, that wouldn't be of much use to you unless you were going to create software. But look at this one. This one is 49,500. So this is a significant size search. So you could click on that and the competition is quite low. Now, I'll explain low competition isn't always good because if there's very low competition, it means that there may not be a market. So sometimes something with high competition can actually be better. But we can click on this personal finance and have a look. And I'll do a Google search just to show you. It opens in another page anyway. Now, so when you go in here, what do they want when it came to personal finance? What came up first? These ones are ads. This is an ad for Sage software accounting. So that's not going to be much use to you. They have no ads over here. So there's nobody really advertising that they do personal finance. So you could perhaps be the first person to do personal finance. But a lot of it is accounting software. Tips and advice. So if you were thinking of writing something on personal finance tips and advice, you should go in and read that, have a look at what the competition are doing, see if they're any good. You could probably be better. So this is how you research. You go right down through all of it. Financial planning would be of interest. Who's writing at fool.com, how to invest. Read that blog, see what they're saying, and you could possibly write something better. So you do personal finance like that. Let's have another look and see what else could we do. Now, anybody can put in, if you want to talk to me here, put in what you'd like me to search for in your question section. Just type in your question box what you'd like me to have a look at, and we can. We have a couple of questions here, so I'll have. I'll come back and do the questions at the end. I'm going to put in some hobbies here, and I'm actually going to put in crafts because I know I did a few of these earlier today just to get an idea, just to show you. I know there's somebody on the call who runs a craft business not too far away from me here in my own town. And I know that she's interested in sort of looking at something online. So if you look at craft searches, 13 million a month, right? And you look at, what's this? What are they looking for? Art and craft. Click on it. Crafts for kids, 1.2 million. So if you created some sort of soft felt craft for children, you could target that market. And the other thing you need to think about is when you're looking at these figures, kids' craft ideas, medium search, 300,000 per month, you can use these words on your website or on your blog, which again isn't too much to talk about in this webinar tonight. I'm not going to go quite that far. But these are the terms you need to use because these are what people are looking for. This is what they're Googling. Googling is telling you what people are looking for. So if you go back and you use these words, your site will be found by Google quicker than anyone else's because you've actually put in the terms that people are actually searching for. Like there's just big art and craft, a million searches. So you can tap into the market when you know how to look and how to search for it. So if I was to do hobbies, let's do beekeeping. And we'll see what comes up. Okay, so beekeeping. Beekeeping is 200,000 searches. I'm just going to change this a minute because I find it quite amazing to say that it's, did I say all countries? It just seems like very little. Let's just see if you search in the States, does it make it more? Sorry, I'm talking to myself, it's first sign of madness. Okay, there we go. Pretty much the same. So again, go down through the beekeeping. Now again, this is what I talk about, a niche area. Like people who do beekeeping are not all over the place. Like I don't know how many what the beekeeping population in Ireland would be, but I know it's not huge. But if you were a beekeeper in Ireland or in your own chosen country or whatever, you could get to the top of the Google list very quickly because you would have more knowledge about anybody else and it may be something that you know more about than anyone else. So beekeeping kits. Let's have a look and see what Google says for that. What do they show? Okay, so let's have a look. Now, this one's a little bit better than the personal finance. So there are lots of people putting ads on, which means there is a market. Beekeeping for beginners, an Amazon book. You could write a book, Beekeeping for Beginners, or starting, how to beekeep, and you could perhaps be competition to that book. But there is obviously a market for it because they've got an Amazon ad. So which starter kit is the best? You could create a starter kit, which might be very good. Beekeeping starter kit. So there's definitely a market for advice on beekeeping and how to get along with it and what to do, beekeeping hobbies. So that's how you have a look and see. Then you would also go into, I'm going to go into trends in a few minutes. Let's go over to trends. This is also worth looking at. I was doing this one earlier for somebody else. So let's just look at beekeeping on trends and see. And again, I'll search this one sort of just in general. Okay, so this is beekeeping, right? And then you can scan across. So 2007, let's go here. 2012, beekeeping, 47 people, 33, and it's rising again this time of the year to 42, partial data. So again, you could do regional interest for this. You can actually you could select your own country and see, you could do worldwide. Instead of doing worldwide, we'll do United Kingdom, because that narrows the market. But if you're an expert in that area, it'll show what the trend is, regional interest in the UK, for beekeeping, and then you can target that market. So because you know that there is a huge interest in beekeeping in England, that's where the search engine index volume is 100, Scotland's only 76 and Wales is 80. So you could target that market if you have products or anything to sell in relation to beekeeping. So it's a really great way of finding out if there is a market. Then when you come in here and you click on this, you could click on that 33. And if there was, there's no article in relation to that, but if there was an article in relation to it, it would pop up and it would tell you why it peaked at that. There might have been something in the press or on the news or the television about beekeeping, and it became a topic, and therefore people Googled it, and it came up first. So this is what you do. You go into Google AdWords, you search your term. Give me something else. Come on, somebody give me one of theirs. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do. And those of you on the call and know why I'm doing this one. And I'll do United Kingdom and we'll search. Okay, so I'm searching electrician in the United Kingdom. So what do people search for? Okay, so the electricians are searched 1.2 million. And there's high competition. So the competition is good. So there's obviously people need it. Emergency electrician, apprenticeships, become an electrician. So again, electrician's course, 45,000. So let's have a look. If I was to search for that, what would come up? Now there's no ads. So if you were running an electrical course and it might be online, there's one online, you could put an ad in here and you would have no competition for the ad. So there's a distinct possibility somebody might click on it and you get higher ratings that way. So have a look down and see who's doing the courses. What are they offering? Could you do better? Could you be an addition to those courses? Could you do something online? Could you do a one-day seminar? Could you send out a blueprint? Could you do whatever? So you look at the competition, look at them, go back down here, click on this one, electrician's course online, have a look and see what's available here. Here's some online courses in Ireland and elsewhere. And have a look and see what they're offering and what the competition is doing, and could you do better. So it's always worth researching, and getting as much information as possible and working on that. So I'm just going to come out of that one and come out of that one and go into Google Trends. Let's try electrician in Google Trends. Okay, so people are searching more. 99. It's going up. The trend is going up. So there's more people looking for electricians than there were. It peaked at 100 in January 2011. So have a look. That's again in England. jobs for electricians. So maybe they're unemployed, maybe that's what they're looking for, but maybe you could get them then to do, to be online trainers or to do whatever. You have to just think. What could I do with this information? Where would this information get me? What can I do with it? So let's just see if we did Ireland, just out of interest, since this is a predominantly Irish webinar, and see what the electricians are looking for in Ireland. So jobs, they're mostly looking for jobs again, electrician jobs. So again, would it be worth your while seeing if you could get them to be trainers? Would there be a market for them if you wanted to train up new electricians, or could you do something else with them that would be of benefit? So that's what you do. You look, so obviously maybe if you were offering jobs for electricians, you certainly would be very popular, whereas people aren't really looking for electricians because they are they're needing jobs as opposed to work, because obviously the downturn in the property market has affected electricians. So anything else? Anybody else want me to do theirs? Have you got a business that you're thinking of? Come on, some of you did say you had a niche idea. Marketing for electricians, had a look at a bit of that. Virtual assistant. Okay, let's have a look. A VA. I know if you're a VA, I know from experience, if you're a VA who speaks English as opposed to India or the Philippines, you certainly can do quite well, because it's hard to get people to understand your culture. Culture comes into it for VAs. So certainly, if a VA with an English-speaking VA can be a great benefit, because a lot of them would be recommending you go to India or to the Philippines, but then it's hard to deal with different cultures and time frames. So certainly there would be a market for this. Okay, so let's have a look. 165,000 searching, and only 18,000. Where am I at the moment? I've lost track of where I am. I'm in the United Kingdom. Okay, so that's pretty good. And what are they looking for? What are the services? So let's have a look. We'll start on the top one, and we'll see what they're doing. Okay, so there's quite a lot of ads, which is a good sign, because it means there's a market, which is great. And then, as I said, go in and see what these companies and these people are offering. Not a huge amount. That's probably an individual. This is just asksunday.com, so it's not actually a service. So have a look and see what people are doing and what they're offering, and could you do better? Scan again, go back up here maybe, and go into the America, where certainly you would maybe find. I would research in America, because they might need VAs more and they may have better services, and then you can look at what they're doing and see. Did that change? Should have done. Okay, so you could have a look and see if there's a virtual assistant in the Philippines. I doubt if they're doing online. I'd say it's just Philippines. Yeah, how much should you pay? So you'll find that when it comes to the Philippines or India, they don't pay enough money. You get a virtual assistant in the Philippines for about $200 a month, but you're dealing with the culture, and you're dealing with language, and you're dealing with internet that goes down when it rains and all sorts of things. I've been there and done that. So certainly an Irish one would do a lot better, or an English person would do better with a better service. So that's how you'd research it. Do we do virtual assistant on Google Trends? Let's have a look at the trend. And see what's happening. And I get out of Ireland and I do. If you're meant to be, presumably you're worldwide if you're an assistant. So have a look and see. Now, I love doing these big ones worldwide, because then you can have a look all over. So where the 100th one is in the Philippines. Why am I surprised? And I bet India. And India would be next. 15, it isn't actually. I'm surprised. I was sure that India would be more. So yeah, the States is 36. So this is the search volume, 23. Botswana, South Africa, yeah, I was thinking 29. So you can have a look and see where the highest searches are. Now that's of interest if you're global, and that's of interest if you want to do product placement in those countries. So if you want to predominantly target English-speaking countries, then you have a look at the target market. So obviously the States would be of better interest than Canada. India's not going to be hectic. Philippines, that's where they live. That's where they're coming from. So you're not going to get business there. And UK is 18, and Ireland probably isn't any. No, there'll be nobody looking for a VA in Ireland, I don't think. So, but this helps you. There's no point in you massively targeting the United Kingdom market, because people aren't searching for a VA in the United Kingdom. Now, you could create the demand, but you'd have to do quite a lot of work on forums, or you'd have to do quite a lot of work on LinkedIn, and you'd have to do your product placement and target market what you want, niche into it, and go at it with the vengeance. Then you would build up the search volume because you'd be creating value, you'd be giving quite a lot of stuff away, but you would get your business out there. And that's what you do. Whereas in the target then in America is 36. So you'd have a better chance of picking up work there because there's more people searching for it. So this is a great way of finding out. Now let's just see if there's an article. Sometimes, as I said, you get an article here, which is really good fun to click into. It opens out into an article about what somebody was searching for or whatever, but they don't seem to have any here. Let's see. No. Okay. Let me see. Does anybody else want something? Anybody else want me to look at something? Okay. We'll go on. So now I'm just going to show you an interesting one from my point of view because I do. So say product creation. If I was relying on an Irish market, it'll just show you. So if I do product creation, see, look, it's really quite low. It's only 9,000 globally. So how to make a product, on the other hand, is 550,000. So if I wrote a blog that just said product creation, click here or something, I wouldn't be found on Google. They wouldn't be looking for it. But if I said how to make a product, then I would have a better chance of being found. So this way means that you learn how to product placement, how to make a product, how to put your business out there, how to actually get on the front page of Google. And one of the ones I did last year, which I was lucky enough to get on the first page of Google, was we had an interesting. I just opened Google on its own over here. Hold on now, and I'll show you what that. I hope it works tonight now for me. Last year there was a town, a village in Germany called Triberg, Tribeorg. And Triberg, actually, the mayor of Triberg was on the radio one morning. I was coming into work and I heard he was interviewed by John Murray or somebody on RT radio. And he was talking about his town in Heidelberg, in Germany, in Bavaria in Germany. That was really small, only had a population of about 24,000. And he had 2 car parking spaces in the local multi-storey car park that he designated women-only car parking spaces because every time a woman drove in, men only, because every time a woman drove into it, she took the side out of her car. And of course, it caused uproar. But I was absolutely amazed at the marketing behind this because he was on RTE, Irish radio, at 7:30 in the morning talking about it. So I came in immediately and I wrote a blog about it, car parking in Triberg. Now, I hope this works. I didn't try this today. And I wrote a blog on it because I thought it was absolutely, I'm first on Google. And I promise you, I didn't try this. This was my blog, right? And I wrote it because men only car parking in Triberg, that was all over the world that day because he had been on the radio and because he had created this and he increased his visitors to the town that particular summer because of what he had done. And I just wrote it. So it means that I'm on the first page. So if anybody puts car parking in Triberg or Triberg, I come up first with my blog, which is what you want. You want to be on the front page of Google all the time. So that's the sort of thing that Google AdWords does for you or that Google Trends does for you because you can find out what words people are using and that you find out how you can pick up on that word and you find out how you could get your product on the front page of Google because you use those words that count or that get you up there. So that's Google AdWords and Google Trends. And that's really how you research your niche, how you look at it, and how you decide what you're going to do with it. Now, I'll have to go back to my slides to see where I am. Okay, so we did find your niche, we did the Google Research Tool, and we did Google Trends. And I hope you found that of use and interesting to you. So now, when it comes to it now, you have to know your why. So let's just get out here to the current slide. Okay, so you have to know your why and why you want to do this. Why do you want to have an information product? The reason I like having an information product is inspiring people like yourselves to have a light bulb moment and to do it. I absolutely love when people ask me what to do what I do, follow me, and then make some money. I just get so excited. I think it's fantastic, and that's why I want to share how you do it. So know your own why. Why would you like to create a product on the internet? Or why would you sell on the internet? It may be a physical product. It doesn't have to be an information product. But why would you like to do it? What does it mean to you? Now, along the way, it's incredibly easy to get lost, confused, unsure, lost completely. And it's taken me 3 years to get where I am because I have bought endless amount of rubbish scams on the internet. I've done mastermind courses which got me so far, and I've done a lot of things, but it's taken me a long time to actually have a clear path. This is what you do, this is how you do it, click here, get on with it, bang, and you have it done. So you always need a roadmap. And to get from A to B, you need a roadmap. I mean, if somebody rang you from Germany to know how to get from New York to Paris, you wouldn't say, well, actually, you leave Germany and you drive down to Rosslare and you go across to London and then you do whatever. So you need a roadmap. You have to know how to get from A to B before you can actually start. You need commitment. There is no doubt about it. You need commitment. It takes a fair bit of time. It takes a fair bit of commitment and passion to actually run these type of businesses. You can't reinvent the wheel. It's been done before. So what you can do is be unique. You can bring what I am doing is not unique. I am not the first person to discover information marketing. And I am not the first person who's actually tried to do it and be successful. But I am probably the only woman in Ireland who's over 55 who's doing it. And for me, that's my niche. That's a market that I can tap into because there's nobody else in my space doing it. And there's very few people actually in my immediate county doing it, or indeed even in Ireland. So for me, that market is wide open when it comes to footfall, and that market is wide open for me to have events and to get people to turn up. But your area could be the same because you'll all be in different niches and you'll all have your voice and your unique way of presenting it, and that's what it's about. So take your first steps in product creation. What to model? What are you going to do? How are you going to get started? What do you pick? Well, I hope I've given you some insight already as to what niche you could pick and how you'd research it to see if there's actually a business in it. What type of products? Well, initially it's easier to do a digital product, but then you may already have a product that you want to sell. So you can follow the system if you've got a product, but if you haven't, a digital product is the easiest thing to do. The easiest one to do is probably the ebook. And an ebook can be created simply by doing a Microsoft Word document. So first of all, you write the ebook, you type it up, you format it into, the right format, into just paragraphs or whatever, and you put some branding on it. So you might have a logo at the bottom or a logo at the top, and then you'd save it as a PDF document. Now you have an ebook. It is that simple to do. And if you wanted to put it on Kindle or Amazon.com ebooks, it is so easy to go into their websites. They literally show you what to do. And the only thing they won't show you what to do is how to get a cover. So I thought I'd take a few seconds just to show you how to get covers, because it's really quite fun to create a cover. So you can get into software like eCoverCreator3D.com. The sign is up here at the top, but there's any amount of them. Again, if you go into Google and Google them, you'll find one. And you can say, create a cover. And you can create a cover with a click. And I'll just say launch editor because I know I have one here already. So say I'm going to name it, I'll do it product presence. Okay. And I'm going to just I'll just do a classic style for the sake of it. I spelt it wrong. I'm just going to look awful, but I'm just doing it in a hurry. Okay, so now I'm going to pick a background color. So say I pick blue. Okay, I'm going to pick something to go on it. So say I'm doing something about, it doesn't really matter. I'll do old book just for argument's sake. And this is just one product that comes this way. Did it come with an old book? Slightly changing. Oh yeah, you can see you can change the background. You can hardly notice it on the, I do old book. Okay, so we've put a background cover on it. And then a footer. I'll pick yellow. And I'll do a swirl. And then the header top, I'll pick red, just to make it really awful looking, and you'll be given out about me. So basically, then you can go in and you can add the text or highlight by just typing. So I could say, thanks for listening, and etc., etc. And I can just change all of this, and I can call it product presence, etc. Okay, so you get the idea, and you can edit it all up or down, and I can save it. Yep. And you save it down. So did it go in? And then you can look at view all covers, and you have your 3D cover. So now you've got a cover. I mean, that's how easy it is. And these are where mine are created. Look, you can see them all there, different books over the years that I have created, and the images are all there. So it's not that difficult to to create a cover or to actually do it. It's quite easy. So you've got your you have your ebook, you've created your ebook, and you have it downloaded as saved as a PDF document, and then you get ebook software covers and you stick a cover on it and bang, you have an ebook. Now, and I've given you some idea how you can get the content of an ebook. It may be something you have loads of knowledge about, it may be something that you're going to interview some people about, or it may be something that you a hobby that you have that you're going to actually do it. And then you actually have to sell it online. Now, as I said, I'm not going to go into all of this tonight because it's actually a little bit too much, but this is basically what you do. So you need to take action every day. It's taken me 3 years to achieve online sales, and I urge you to really take action. Now, we're coming, like I've been just on for an hour, so I'm going to wind it up fairly soon now. But I have a special offer for today. And for those of you who've had your light bulb moment and think, I really want to do this, what Susan is talking about is really exciting. I'd love to be a part of it and I'd love to take part. Listen up, because I have a special offer tonight. So for those of you interested in getting more business and you're willing to do the work, this is what I'm going to offer you. I have 3 key systems that I do. There's 3 areas to getting online. First of all, you have to do the product creation. So what is your product? How are you going to do it? What's your product going to be? You need a marketing system, which means that you need to know how to get that product up to number 1 on Google. You need to know how to get it in on Facebook and Twitter and probably LinkedIn. And that's what I do. I can train you, mentor you, guide you into doing that. You need the promotional system. So you need to know how to write the blog and how to actually get that out there so that it's found, so that Brian Tuberty or John Murray will give you a ring and say, I see you're talking about such and such, tell me more. And that's what you need to do. So 3 key systems. My goal for you, and this is a passion for me, this is the value that I can create to your life, is for you to build a business that you will grow over the months ahead. I'll give you the templates that you can use over and over and over again. You'll only have to go through it once with me and then you're up and running. And is to set you up online with your own information business. It couldn't be easier. There's never been a better time. So what you need to do is to create an info product that you can sell online. You need to create the marketing system for it, all the web pages, the squeeze pages, the autoresponders, the videos. And that's where I help, because we don't want you to be overwhelmed. We don't want you thinking, I can't do this because I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. You need to create the promotional system that will drive traffic to your website so that you sell. No point in having, as I say, I often think, there's no point in having a Christian Louboutin shoe shop up in the back end of, Ladies Bray or Timbuktu. Nobody's going to find it. You need to be able to find what you create. So this is what we can do together. What I can offer for you is, I have a training DVD. Some of you know it already, and it's been revamped. And this training DVD has 5.5 hours of live training on it. Now, I know you're thinking, where would I find 5.5 hours? But listen up, because I've really broken it down to being very simple. What I'm going to propose to do is that you do DVD 1, and that then I will offer you a live webinar weekly, where I will go back online, take live Q&A and answer all your queries and talk you through it. I literally hold your hand in your mouse as you build out the information product. So you get the DVD set, you do the first DVD, and we will do a live group. Now, this isn't right for everybody. There's no doubt about it. If you want to create a product and get online so badly, you'd do anything, fantastic. But if you're willing to actually do the work required, I will be delighted to work with you and guide you through. You need at least 4 hours a week to get started, because that's what it takes. And I'm not lying to you. You have to put in the work if you really want this to work. You need to complete and do the required steps in each DVD. It's not right for everyone, as I said, because you need to own a computer with an internet connection. And you probably need €150 to get it set up, to have your autoresponder, your domain name and your hosting. There's no point in me telling you it's all free. It isn't all free. And so you have to have some money to be able to invest in your own business. It's not a huge amount of money and you won't need it all up front, but you do have to have some. And you have to recognize that there's no guarantees in life. I can certainly mentor you, guide you, coach you, and get you through, but there's no guarantees. How to get online from scratch. 5 DVDs. Research and select your niche thoroughly with my help. Do domain and hosting, meaning that you get a website and you learn how to host it on the internet so that you have control over it. We'll organize you with your website, with all your landing pages and squeeze pages and all of that you need. That you don't have to pay somebody else to do that. You'll be doing the work. I'll be telling you how to do it. Autoresponders, you have to have an email list. Again, I didn't go into it tonight because it's moving on too quickly. Traffic generators, how to actually drive traffic to your website. Content and product creation, what would suit your business. The bonus tonight is that you'll get a 1 hour Skype on site consultation with me to start you off. And then I'm only taking 8 people because I can only deal with 8 people on a Skype call in a group. And it's a good group, it's a good size to get people to get kind of a unity going. I'm going to give you everything I've got. It's access to all the exact systems and sales pages that I've used to sell 5 products online every day, and access and knowledge to all the info. So you get fast tracked and speeded up in how to actually go from A to B all in one go. So how much, Sue? How much would it be worth to you to have a finished product up and running in 5 weeks, all of the marketing materials needed to be able to sell it online, a promotional plan all set up and running? Would it be worth €297? Would it be worth €497? Would it be worth €597 to have your business set up and good to go in 5 weeks' time? Up and running and selling in 5 weeks. That's just less than €120 per week. But I know €120 per week is quite a lot of money. So to have a new product up and running and making money online, I'm prepared to offer you €197 for my DVD set, which is all the training to stop and start whenever you like and whenever you need it, and a one-on-one Skype call to set you up, plus 1 hour weekly Skype mentoring Q&A session where all your queries are dealt with. And that's the link you need to go to get the DVD. Now, on top of that, this is really good value because I'm not going to do this again. I'm not releasing this program in this way again. I'm bringing it all online so that I too will have a membership site and it will be evergreen. It'll be there forever. And that's happening at the moment. So this is the last chance to actually get online with me and to have mentoring calls, to have me talk to you every week. And I will be available by email and outside the Skype call as well, because I'd be just so excited to get you started and up and running. So if you're not sure if this is right for you, if you really don't think it's something that that really grabs you, but unfortunately this offer is only for tonight and it's only for the people on the call. And remember, only the first 8 will get the Skype calls. I can't do more than that because I simply wouldn't have the time. 8 is 8 hours and I wouldn't have more than that in a week to get people up and running. So the plan is that I don't really want you to do it alone. I want you to start getting your business on track now. You can't figure all this stuff out for yourself. There's no need because I can figure it out and tell you how to do it. You can follow in the footsteps of somebody who's struggled selling their time for money and overcome it. That's me. So I can fast track you by actually helping you to do this. You can take action today and you can finally connect with the resources you need and make that commitment to yourself. You will be part of a community. And this is really important and it's something that's incredibly exciting on the internet and incredibly feasible to do. You get connected through the joint Skype call. So for the first 8 of you to purchase the product tonight, you will be connected into a membership group. Now, I have been involved in several membership groups, and actually on Friday this week, I'm flying to London for the weekend to a brainstorming session with 5 people in a membership group that we have been online since last October. We were all at an annual conference in October. I didn't meet these 5 people because there was 500 people there, but the conference organisers broke us down and set us up online with 5 people in similar genre, if you like. Well, some of us are. Now, one of the guys lives in Japan, one of the guys lives in Amsterdam, a girl lives in London, and another man lives outside London, and I live in Ireland. And we're all meeting physically for the first time ever on Saturday in London. We have had a fabulous brainstorming weekly Skype call, and now we're meeting together we've booked a room and we're going to do 5 hours on Saturday together, brainstorming our businesses, looking at our business growth for the future year and helping each other with our knowledge and our expertise. Now, I can offer that to you here on this call tonight because I'm organising that the 8 people who buy this product first tonight, we will do that. I will organise a closed Facebook group where you can tap in and talk to people. I will organise the Skype call once a week. And who knows, maybe down the line, if we get a successful bounce and a successful group and a dynamic group, we could probably arrange to meet globally or Dublin or London or somewhere, whatever the demographic is. And that's really exciting. And you won't learn anything quicker than learning from other people. It's a fabulous way. And people are very good at giving their value and their information away. So surround yourself with people who believe in you and who encourage you all the way. This is about you, even when you don't believe in yourself. So when I've had a bad week and I'm on the Skype call and I say to somebody, I feel I'm banging my head off a brick wall, and they say, no, don't be ridiculous, Susan. Do this, do this, do this. And you come off the call energized. And it's fantastic when you're self-employed. And it's fantastic when you're on your own on a laptop all the time. It's a fabulous way to have a community. So, and a closed Facebook group, sorry. So have a look at this. This is an amazing slide I came across and I think it's really exciting. Is it a coincidence or not? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right down to Z equals the numbers from 1 until 26. So taking whichever, K is number 11, N is number 14. So then the word knowledge is equal to 96%. Hard work is equal to 98%. But most important, the total falls short of 100% for both of those. So knowledge and hard work will get you 96 to 98% of the job, but your attitude will get you 100%. And that's what you need. And I really want to work with people with the right attitude. So if you're up for it, if you feel that you have an information product in you and you really want to get it out there, then all I can do is say, don't leave the webinar tonight without doing something. Take action now. Motivate yourself. It's worth it. The takeaways are information means nothing without implementation. So you could have all the information in the world, but if you don't do something about it, you won't turn it into money. You don't need to know everything when you focus on the right things. You only need to get connected to the right mentor and the right community. And I am impassioned about getting you online. You need to follow somebody who's been there and done that. And you need to invest in yourself. There is nothing like investing in yourself. Because, as Benjamin Franklin says, if you empty your purse into your head, you cannot lose it. An investment in knowledge always pays the best dividend. So take this chance. The bonus for tonight is that you're going to sign up. It's €197. You get the DVD post sent out to you. You get a Skype call from me for an hour. And you also get the Skype follow-up call every week for 5 weeks until you have that DVD box set complete. So you can't put it on the shelf and let it gather dust. You're going to have to do it. You're going to make a commitment. You're going to have the right attitude and you're going to do it. The other thing is this interests and experts inventory. I'm just going to show you this because this is what I'm going to do with you on the Skype call. And I hope it's down here. It is. Sometimes I'm delighted that I can manage to get around these screens at all. Okay, so this is how you do your research. Remember I told you your passion, your market research equals your new product success potential. So I'm going to go through this with each individual who buys the DVD tonight with you personally. We're going to go right down. I'm going to go right through all of this, break it down, go through the keyword analysis, go through each of it with you, go through each of these sections, and I'm going to show you how this actually bounces into fact. And it bounces into fact like this. So here you've got, when I click on this, like high, medium, low, this becomes an Excel spreadsheet. And then we'll go through it here. Okay, and you put in the figure. So say it's got, when I showed you high competition on the Google keyword tool, what does that mean? So if it had like high competition, we'd put in say 5. If it had medium competition, we put in 4. If it had low competition, we put in 2. And then this will give us a score. And I can read these scores for you and tell you if your niche is a viable product to launch on the internet or not. And I'll do that for each and every person. Of the first 8 who buy the product tonight, I can only manage 8 in this initial group. So that's something that's really exciting, and it really targets how you're thinking. And I'll interpret all this for you and show you the profitability scoring and go down through all of this. So that's a little aside as to how you can actually do it. Now, this is where you need to go. If you want to get your hands on this product tonight, you need to go to this website, www.productlaunchmethod.net, DVD promotion. I think if you click on it, it should click into it for you, I hope. If not, just do productlaunchmethod.net/DVD and the website will come up. And you need to buy that product now, and then I'll follow up with you. And I can only take 8. I can't take more, and there's quite more than 8, a significant number more than 8 on this call, but I can't take more than 8. So if that's something that excites you and something that you think you'd really like to do, then buy it tonight and you will become part of the first mentoring online mastermind group that I'm running. So it's €197. You buy it online, I send it out to you, and then it won't be until the week after next I'll be starting. So you'll have plenty of time to look at it. And the following week I'll be in touch with you. We go through your interest and inventory online live. And if you're anywhere near me physically, we can meet in the office, or else we'll do it live on Skype. And then we will set up a weekly mentoring call whereby you'll do the first DVD and I will talk to you collectively for an hour. And then with the other people that buy it, you will have a group where you can trade information, you can feed off each other as such, and you can benefit and grow your online experience together. And I guarantee none of you will be in the same niche, because it doesn't happen that way. So that's the website. That's where you need to go to get it. I'll see if I can get the if it comes up here for you, how to get online from scratch. Yeah, it's going to come up here now. Yeah, this is it tonight. So that's the page. Productlaunchmethod.net DVD promotion. Product present webinar special offer tonight only. Get access now. Click there. That's what it'll do for you. You get the follow-up Skype call, and you also get the follow-up drill down inventory into your market, your product, and get fast tracked as to how it'll work for you. And I'll show you how to do ebook, DVD set, membership site, whatever is appropriate for you and your business. That's what I can do for you. So there you go. That's the website, and that's what you need to do. Now I'm just going to pop back in here. Have you any questions at all? I know I've gone over time quite a bit, but I have no problem staying on the line if you would like some questions. So you just have to click into the questions box and hop in a question there for me. Type it in and I'll answer you back. I'll answer you live, or else I can answer you, type it in privately, whichever you prefer. Any questions? Oh, you're all very quiet. Any questions? Okay. Somebody wants to know, is it very technical? It's not really very technical, because it's broken down disc by disc. So it's not like you grow with it, and I literally click by click by click. I hold your mouse, I show you exactly what to do, and it isn't that difficult. It really isn't. It's quite easy to do, uh, and certainly you don't have to have any great technical ability to be able to do it. So don't worry about that in particular, Mary. It's easy enough once you get started. Anybody else? Okay. Now I'm watching it here, and in fact, there aren't even going to be 8 spots. We're down to about 5 spots. So if you do want to get going, you'll have to log on there and log on to the site and get yourself started. So